You guys, I didn't have a fancy website. I didn't have a team. I didn't even have a budget. I had no money. And you guys, within the first 30 days of my business, I made $8,000, you guys. And I want to share with you guys what that looked like from my perspective. I'm going to go through all of these steps that I wrote down, you guys, because I want you to know how possible it is for you to be able to literally start a cleaning business and go from 0 to 8K in a month. Like, it's completely possible. Okay. So let's go over some rules here. Okay. The rules. If you have a zero budget, this is for you. Okay. Now you guys, the ground rule with starting any kind of business is like, literally, do you have the heart enough to do it? Okay. I talked to so many people, and so many people share with me their stories and where they're from. And I always ask, like, yo, if you want it, like, go get it. It's out there and available for everyone. Okay. Working with a zero budget looks a little different. Okay. It may look a little more ghetto than it would if you had a budget, because yes, it makes things much more easier. But when you're trying to start something with nothing, you're going to do a lot of things that you may not really would have preferred to do if you would have to do the budget. Now, we're not talking about something strange for some change. We're just talking about building up a level of work ethic that you didn't know you had until you're put in the predicament to do what you had to do, what you had to do. Okay. Now, when I first started, you guys, I had no budget, right? So that meant I wasn't paying for a lot of ads. That meant I wasn't paying for a lot of software. That meant I wasn't paying for a website. That meant I wasn't paying for a fancy logo. That means I literally started with nothing. Like, how can I get clients, and what's the freest way that I can have them pay me my money? Okay. Now, did I suffer from that? Yes. And you guys, there's so many videos that talk about that, but this is what it looked like for me. Like, I had Stripe. I sent out an invoice. And actually, in the beginning, in all actuality, I didn't even have that because I didn't have a business license. I didn't have an LLC. I didn't have a DBA. It was like, yo, here's my name. This is what we're doing. Call me up. Let's go. So it wasn't Stripe. I think I was doing Cash App and Zelle. All right. It was looking real ghetto, and having to call people and check up them, remind them to pay me because I hated chasing after people. But in the beginning, that's what it looked like, right? I use Google Form, I use Canva, I use Facebook Group, I use Nextdoor, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, literally for everything to find my clients. Okay, you guys. Every dollar that I made in my business, I put back in it. Like, I didn't have the luxury to be able to go off and buy a new bag with the new money. Like, I put it directly back in the business. I allow it to pay for the expenses, right? That I had, which is very, very little. And then I put it back into it, right? So now let's talk about what it will look like for getting set up. We're going to talk about this week by week, okay? Because I was real strategic when I was getting ready to start my business. Now, yes, I was like, what's the fastest way I can launch? And this was kind of what my process looked like, right? So first thing was, I had to pick a name. Okay. Now, all the fancy things that I had about SEO, I didn't even know what SEO meant. I didn't know about picking the right name. I literally chose Dallas Upscale Cleaning because I wanted to attract rich clients. I'm just being honest. I wanted to attract rich clients, so I picked Dallas Upscale Cleaning. We were located in Dallas, and so, like, this is perfect. Right now, not even knowing that name does kind of fit the formula. But if I was to advise anybody with picking a name, make sure that it is SEO friendly. So now at least you're not starting with no kind of information. You have some kind of tips and tricks in your belt. But pick a name that is searchable. Okay, list what you do, where you do it, and how you do it. Best Dallas maids, eco-friendly green. No, not that's too many green names. Green. Goodness, now I messed up my flow. But let's say eco Frisco maids, okay? But list something that you do because it's so important. Because if somebody says cleaner, well, what are you cleaning? Are you cleaning a house, car, a dog? Like, what are we cleaning here? You have to be specific in the services that we offer, okay? Now, like I said, my booking form was literally paper. This right here, a good old fancy notebook, okay? All day. Now, I jacked up though a lot of appointments. We were late. Our cleaners were not paid sometimes. It was really bad. It got really ghetto. But I'm saying that word a lot because that's what it felt like. I lived in this really chaotic space to where, like, I did not know nothing what I was doing. I just knew that I had to make it, and that's where I was living at. Okay, but that was my stuff. I didn't even have like a Google form. I didn't get fancy with some Google lead form or what's the green one? Excel, okay? Like I didn't do any of that. It was literally pen and paper. But now there's so many other resources that you can start. Like what I would do now would just get an actual booking platform, right? Booking Koala, ZenMaid, Jobber, BusyBook, something of that sort. So that way I can be able to actually organize our bookings. But I'm telling you guys my way. Logo, I didn't have a logo. Like, what I need a logo for? I need money. I don't need to spend money to make money in this phase. Like that was my mentality, right? Like literally, it was like, what I got to do to get paid? And so I didn't go through the fluff of creating the social media accounts. I didn't do all of that. I literally went straight to the source. How do I find cleaning clients? That source, who that source was, you asked? Google. I mean, I'm just saying. I wish Google would have said Google, but Google said Thumbtack. And so Thumbtack won. So I put $25 on Thumbtack for me to get clients. I didn't do all the fluff. I just needed to find clients, right? So after I added my lead gen setup, right? I set up to the fullest, to the capacity that I could. I put $25 in that bad boy. Right? I put $25 in that bad boy and I waited to see who's gonna respond. Now, luckily, like I had some good sales background, so I understood a couple key factors with closing leads, right? I understood response time. I understood the follow up, right? I understood customer service and a couple other tactics that kind of helped me to be able to close these clients because that did come in handy and that really did help me to grow my business in the amount of time that it did because I didn't even think that I could grow it that fast just starting out, right? Now, once I did like the little setup, which is very minimal, literally like set me up a Zelle and Cash App. Now, you guys, please understand, I'm not telling you guys to do this. I'm telling you guys what my story looked like, right? Then I set up a Thumbtack. I didn't have a booking platform. That was literally it. I think I launched my company probably within like 2 weeks. It was like, and it was just really, really just the nerves to get over it. Like, because I just so nervous as to like what I was going to do. And I actually got there to the client's house. Right. Because yes, I did have to clean my first. And I say have to, it's only because I just didn't know. But I think it's so cool is because you guys have access to information like this, or at least have the know-how to like, let me figure out how to start a cleaning business. Like, yo, Jazz, why didn't you Google that? Instead of Googling how to find cleaning clients, it just my focus at the time was just how can I bring in money? How can I bring in income? It wasn't even about, oh, I'm starting an empire. But because I didn't think that I could actually start and grow a full cleaning company and have it grow to the level at that level, like that was just crazy to me, right? I just thought I can just make some quick cash. Like, let me just make some quick money, flip it, get out of this situation and be done with it and move on to the next season of my life, not knowing like God had to take me through that path to get me to that place, to get me to launch this business, to get me to be able to teach hundreds and thousands of people like I do every single day. Like that's the super dope part of my whole story is the accident. How I accidentally ended up where I ended up, but it was all so purposeful, right? So when I say all this, you guys, I'm giving you guys like the ghetto version of my story of launching my cleaning business, not knowing anything, going from 0 to 8K in 30 days of my business. Like my husband wondering, like, where is all this money coming? Like, what are you doing? Like, I love you, but what are you doing? Like, it's, you know, it's not that serious. Like, but like for me, it was. For me, I was like, look, I gotta figure this out. Now, like I said, I wasn't doing nothing strange for no change. I just started cleaning people's houses. Now, what really changed the game for me was when I did figure out, like, oh, snap, I'm kind of on to something. Like, people are paying real money, and I'm the only one cleaning, and I'm cleaning a heck of jobs right now. Like, what could I do if I really actually focused on growing this business? I mean, it could be crazy bananas up in here, right? It went from doing the $25. It went from doing the $25 on Thumbtack to $100 a week to $500 a week to $1,000 a week for lead gen. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. This is what I was spending to get leads. But also understand that when I was spending $1,000 a week to get leads, I was also making $10,000 to $15,000 a week. Because so many people like, yo, Jazz, you was kind of going a little crazy. Like $1,000 for leads, that's crazy. Yeah, but would you spend that much knowing that you could also make $10,000 to $15,000 a week on leads? Yeah, you would. Sure, you would. If you didn't, then are you an entrepreneur? Because we need to bring in some lead generation has to flow from somewhere. Okay. So that's what my process looked like. But it's really cool that you guys are able to come in here and learn information and gather information and be in the places where information is shared, so that way you don't have to start the way I started. Like, so many times people will message me and be like, yo, Jazz, I want to start this cleaning business, but I think I'm going to clean first. And I'm like, yo, sis, why? Ho, pump the brakes. Well, you ain't got to do that. Like, let me learn from my mistakes. Okay. They say a wise man not only learn from their mistakes, but they learn from the mistakes of others. Learn from my mistakes. Okay. And yes, the season and that time in my life, it took me in that path. And I don't regret it. And I thank God for the way that He takes me. But if you can glean from the wisdom that I've had to learn on my knees, scrubbing and cleaning baseboards, like, learn from that so you don't have to, right? Learn from that so you don't have to. So when I be like, yo, sis, you can have a launch cleaning business in 30 days, fully up and running functionally, with cleaners doing the things for you, where you play the best man on the field, court, bench, whatever, on the roster, whatever. And that's the middleman, right? Do you remember the movie Six Man? That's one of my favorite movies of Marlon Wayne's. I kind of had a crush on him, low key. I was a 90s baby, okay? All the 90s shows, all the dope actors was like fine, okay? Anyways, I'm like super going sidetracked here. But anyways, you guys, listen, play the middleman. Play the middleman. You don't need to be out there uh cleaning baseboards. You don't need to be out there cleaning all day, 2 to 3 houses a day, sweating, tired, back hurt, knee hurts. Like, we don't need to do all that. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not talking down my cleaners. Like, there's a lot of solo cleaners that watch this channel and that wants to grow and start a cleaning business and also hire. I appreciate y'all. I understand what y'all go through. Okay. I didn't go through long enough as long as you have or you are currently. So it's not a disrespect. I'm just saying that if in business, if you want to start a business, if your goal is to build a level of financial freedom that sets up your life the way you truly desire it to be, right? Whatever that looks like in your perfect world, right? If your desire is to start a business and a company, then, or become an entrepreneur, then your goal is not to start yourself another job. And the middleman is the position of starting the business. The man on the court, the person that's in there doing the things, like in the trenches, they've created themselves another job. And nothing is wrong with that, right? Like, I was talking to my friend and I was like, yo, my Nana, right, which is my grandmother, my Nana, she was a janitor at Northridge College back in LA. And I was just thinking, like, how proud she would be to, like, to hear, like, the evolution of, like, her seed, like, of her granddaughter, right? Like, yo, I was a janitor, I was cleaning at a college all day, all night, come home, ride the bus, go all the way to Compton, get off that bus, right? Walk all the way down to Palmer Avenue, okay? To go into her little house, and her granddaughter is there, and didn't even know that decades later, like, she would start her own cleaning company, have multiple locations, make hundreds of thousands of dollars, and now teach other people to do the same thing. So what I'm saying is, what does your goal and desire look like? If you want to start and create yourself another job, you're like, yo, I don't want to depend on nobody else. I'm gonna start my own job. I'm gonna clock in when I want to clock in. Well, where you actually do report to them, because you clock in when they tell you they want you there. But anyhow, if you want to feel like you can have that level of control, then okay. Because being the CEO, the entrepreneur, the middleman, you do have less control over the small things that we think needs the most control. But what I really love is that we have the most control over the things that we really desire. Like, how do we want to set our life up? How do we want to set our life up for our children? Like, how do I want to have my life set up for the next 10 years? Sometimes we look too small and the current nows, but, like, think about 5 years from now. Do you really want to be cleaning 5 years from now? Yo, because that work gets a little different after you turn 35. Okay. I'm just saying. And 40, I can't even imagine. I'm not 40 yet, but I'm just saying I can only imagine because I can only imagine. But what I am saying is that I'm tired of creating myself jobs. I was tired of creating myself just another job. And I really wanted a company. I wanted real legacy wealth for me to be able to pass down to my children, to my children's 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 children's. And the cool part about it is by the time they get it, they're really just going to be overseers because it's going to be so established, so structured. Everything is so put in place. There will be managers and everything put in place to where like they will just need to check in if necessary. So like that for me is the desire goal, not to create another job, right? So yes, in 30 days from zero, I started a cleaning business from scratch with no fancy website, no any of the things, really just going by the hem of my pants, not knowing anything, and I've been able to be very successful. Now you tell me, what can you do with you having access to the knowledge and information that you have right now? How successful can you be? The amount of information I share on here is ridiculous because my goal is to have people to start this business and not be in the same ignorant space that I was in, not knowing anything, just trying to figure it out. Like I'm grateful for the amount of people that I was able to find along the journey that can help me, that I can glean from and finally like, yo, that's not right, do this. Yo, that's not right, do this, right? But I made a lot of mistakes. A lot. A whole heap of mistakes. Sorry, another 90s movie rep. If you know it, drop it in the comments, okay? But anyways, you guys, I do have an upcoming workshop. So if this video is like, okay, yo, Jazz, this is like the wake up call that I needed and I'm ready to go, then get into the next upcoming master workshop, okay? And I'm going to drop the link inside of this video description. Get into that workshop, you guys. Listen to the information. Get the resources. Get the resources that I didn't have, because if I can do what I had, which was very little in in that short amount of time, then I want to challenge you and encourage you and motivate you and be along your journey to do double what I did. Because I know it's possible. Okay? So until next time, do all the things of all the things. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all later. Bye, y'all.